Hi, these comments are for MA. I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for OTC, OnlineToeflCourse.com. And let's take a look at your email. This is an email I've seen so many times. It says, I'm writing a request for your evaluation on my TOEFL writing. I've taken the TOEFL 3 times. I got 21 from this section. Every time. I just don't know what the problem is with my writing. One of them is I can tell you one problem right now is word order and noun clauses. I don't know what the problem is. So when you're using noun clauses, you have to have connector, subject, verb, word order. You said, I don't know what is the problem with my writing. That's a grammatical error. So at least in this email, you're having some problems with your word order with your noun clause structures. You say, could you kindly help me figure it out? Attached my writing for your kind reference. Again, you don't have a verb in here. Attached is my writing for your kind reference. So at least in this email that you're sending me, you have problems with noun clauses and also problems with your verbs. Those are two problems. You do more of that on the TOEFL exam, score is going to go down. All right, so the next step is let's read your essay to see if we can understand what's going on with your writing. And my question is, before we move on though, if you did not know why you got a score 21, why did you take the TOEFL again? And then why did you take it a third time? You know how much money you spent? $600. Why are you spending all this money if you don't know what's going on? So my advice to you and everybody watching this video is don't just retake the TOEFL over and over and pray to God that somehow your score gets better. No, figure out what the problems are. Solve your language issues. This student in this email has problems with noun clauses and word order of noun clauses. She also has problems using verbs in her sentences. Until she solves these problems, she's not going to score higher. Now, the next thing that you want to look at here is you got a score of about 21 points, which means the IBT human raters are scoring you in the 3 range. So you say you don't know why you got the score you did. That's false. If you read the rubrics that the IBT human raters use to score your test, you know exactly why you got the score you did, right? And these guys are pretty accurate. I know how they're trained. I know what they do. They read essays in the morning. They read them in the afternoon. These guys read essays all day long. They're pretty good with their scoring. So here's what it says. Addresses a topic and task using somewhat developed explanations, exemplifications, and or details. What does that mean? It means that your details are not specific enough to satisfy the IBT human raters who scored your essay. Now, the next one, it says, displays unity, progression of coherence, although connection of ideas may be occasionally obscured. It means that you have some problems organizing your ideas. That means it could be a problem with your thesis, your topic sentences, and your body paragraphs, or some of the details in the body paragraphs might not be relevant to the topic sentence of that paragraph. That's exactly what that means. The next one may demonstrate inconsistent facility in sentence formation and word choice that may result in lack of clarity and occasionally obscure meaning. So I saw this in the email that you sent me. You're having some problems with word order and noun clauses, and you missed the auxiliary verb in the other sentence. So that's inconsistencies in sentence formation. The last thing may display accurate but limited range of syntactic structures and or vocabulary. It means that you're writing, your sentences are more at a basic level. Maybe your sentences are fairly short. Maybe many of them are shorter than 20 words. And your vocabulary is basic. So that's exactly why you got the score that you did, right? Now here's a question. Now you may not have said this directly in the email, but maybe you disagree with the scores that they're giving you and you want to see if my evaluation of your writing, does it also confirm what it says in the writing rubric? Right? Maybe that's what you're trying to get at in your email. All right, I just finished reading the essay that you wrote, so I got good and bad news. The good news is I noticed you have a very specific thesis, and that makes it really easy to see the structure of the writing, and you have nicely developed paragraphs with topic sentences in each paragraph. So I don't think that you're scoring lower because of organization or the connection of ideas. At least if you did this on the Toefl exam, and I'm not saying you did, but if you did, that's not the reason. I think the problem here is language use, grammar, and more grammar. I saw problems in the email that you sent me. I see problems right here in this essay. I'll just give you one example. It says, well, better class quality and rising universities' income, you might put, and a rise in a university's income could be considered as an advantage. You might put the wrong feedback, and feedback is an uncount noun, could be considered a striking disadvantage of student evaluations, right? So what did I do? In one sentence, I made probably 5 or 6 corrections. If I go through the whole essay, I do the same thing. You can't do that. You have a human rater who will read the essay. You also have the machine, the computer. You have a software program, e-rater, that will also read it. And the grammar check on the software program is going to red flag this as having way too many grammatical errors. So you must improve your language use. That is your control over your grammar and your vocabulary. And that's the bad news. And more bad news is it's not easy to fix these kinds of problems. If it were strictly organizational issues, you can fix them quite easily. You can learn how to organize a paper without too much difficulty. But if you have problems with your vocabulary and your grammar, you have to sort those things out, and that takes time. That's going to take a lot of time, right? So that's the bad news. Now, fortunately for you, I got good news. Is I can actually help you solve these problems. It's not going to be easy. If you're willing to work hard, if you can budget some money, I can definitely help you improve your writing skills. I am a California State University San Bernardino English professor. I'm teaching 5 writing courses this semester, right? Beginning fall semester. So I have some options for you right now. You have to think about what fits your budget, and I understand that. I recommend Toefl private lessons, and then you can use my self-study course. But the private lessons are important because you can complete the writing practice test, then I can do the error correction, and I can teach you the grammar that you need to know in order to avoid making these mistakes in the future. For example, based on what you sent me in your email, I can tell you about noun clauses and how noun clauses need statement, not question word order. I even have a lesson on noun clauses in my online Toefl course that you should study, right? So I think here, based on that first sentence, you should probably study what's called count and uncount nouns and also articles. I think if you study those 2 areas in your grammar, that's going to help you become more proficient. But even if you study those, it doesn't mean you're not going to make those errors again. Unfortunately, you will continue to make these errors. However, the more you practice, eventually you make fewer and fewer errors. But you will never be perfect. You will never write an error-free essay, but you'll get pretty close. But it could take you 2 or 3 months down the line before you master this type of grammar proficiency and writing proficiency. All right, so in the email, just look below my name. I have Toefl private lessons. You can check out the link. I have Toefl writing and feedback service. You can check out the link. And I have the online Toefl courses. Now, if you want error correction, for example, if you wanted me to read this essay and to make every single grammatical correction and to tell you why it's wrong and how to change it, you need to take my Toefl private lessons. That's the best option for you. If you want that kind of feedback, you have to pay for that kind of service. And obviously that one's not going to be inexpensive. That's going to be more expensive because I'm working with you for 1 hour face to face, right? And we're going to work on your writing skills. I'm telling you, though, I can help you. I had a student in exactly your situation. His writing score was 21. 2.5 months later, after working with me, his writing score was 29. How did he do it? He completed over 45 different writing practice tests. He got feedback after every single one. And guess what? By the end, he had improved his writing skills and he did much better. So you'll probably have to do something like that. So do not expect writing to be easy. Do not expect these problems to solve on their own, and they will not be solved quickly. Writing is pure and simple hard work. You put in the time, you write the essays, you get the feedback, you make the improvements, and once and for all, you can put the Toefl behind you. My advice to you is do not retake the Toefl again until you have solved these grammatical issues. All right, and thank you for doing this practice test.